Welcome back to another episode of the Nomad Barista podcast. I'm your host, Brody Vissers, and I seek out coffee professionals around the world who have really paved their own path, nailed their niche, and designed their own lifestyle around what they love and also how they can best contribute to the world in their own unique way. Today, I sit down with Pil Hoon Seu from Coffee Libre in Korea, right in their cupping room and office, actually. Coffee Libre is a major specialty coffee importer and roaster in Korea, and they have supplied green coffee to many roasters all around the country. I've also joined Pil on a few of his origin trip visits over the years, including India in 2020 and Nicaragua and Honduras earlier this year in 2023. I was happy to finally visit the Coffee Libre headquarters and cafes during my time while filming here in Seoul. And I took the opportunity to get Pil on the mic to share some of his wisdom running a successful coffee business for the past 11 years. This episode is brought to you by WACACO, portable coffee makers, a brand of portable coffee brewers that are completely hand-powered, and I've been using all of their gear, including hand grinders and scales, on all of my coffee adventures, including these filming trips to Origin with Coffee Libre. So these brewers are super compact and great for those long rides up to the coffee farms. With that, let's get right into it. Pil from Coffee Libre.
Yeah, so how many roasters do you sell to now in Korea?
About 600 to 700, coffee shop and restaurants we supply our coffee.
Wow, okay. Takes a long time to get to that level.
Headache, big headache.
And when did you start buying direct trade? Like you said you traveled to Origin. You had an opportunity within the first few years to go see a little bit more behind the scenes. Maybe paint for us a picture. How did it happen where you started buying your own green beans and then you started being able to actually go straight to the source and buying bigger quantities of coffee?
I found this company in 2009, and a couple of months later, I had a good chance to visit Coffee Origin. It's my first visit Coffee Origin is in Nicaragua. It's my first love. Yeah, so now I have a coffee farm in there. So I don't know the reason, but it's a kind of a fortune or destiny. And then I visit El Salvador, India. Then every year I visit more origins because I want to learn more. But still I'm learning. So every year, so when I visit any coffee origin, I learn a lot. And so I love it. So there's a lot to learn in my life. And it's a kind of a big motivation for me. I want to learn more, so there will be something new. Yeah, it's a fun. I want to introduce this coffee to Korean market. I want to do this and imagination. And yeah, I love my job a lot.
So if you were talking to someone who was starting to get into maybe green buying or a small roaster or a roaster cafe, maybe in Korea or maybe somewhere around the world, what kind of advice would you give them if they were just starting out and they were ambitious and, excited to do what you're doing? What would you tell them?
I have no idea, so everybody has a different idea. And the business model is different, and the culture is different. But in my case, that the most big energy for me was love coffee itself. It's a big motivation and energy for me. So in the business, it's sometimes good, sometimes bad, It's very difficult, a lot of headache, but always I'm thinking, I want to do this. I want to get over this because I love coffee itself. Yeah, in my case, it's very simple. I don't know if it will work to others also.
What is it that you love about coffee? What is because it could be the taste, it could be the process, but what is it for you that keeps you coming back?
Kind of love itself. So when you love a girl, it's exactly that kind of feeling to me, love coffee is. So I love coffee itself, not only tasting, roasting, cupping. So I want to read a book on coffee, and I want to know more about the history of coffee, so cultivation, how to cultivation processing, and a DNA issue, everything. And so, I feel as I'm fell in love still in coffee. Yes, it's a big energy for me still.
It's more of a feeling that you have,
Yes.
rather than specific characteristics that, they might be here today and then they're gone the next month. Whereas for you, it's something deeper. It's something that you've lived, that you've recognized. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, for sure. I've sensed that over the last few days since being here in Korea and seeing a little bit of your story. But also, of course, on the various trips that we've taken together, the people that we've met along the way, and the long-running connections that you have, right? We were just in Nicaragua and Honduras, and you've known some of these producers for years and years and watched their children to grow up. Or when we went to India, you were telling me you had gone there for 10 years in a row, and seeing how much these people receive you when you come, because they know that you're dedicated, right? You're not just buying their coffee, but you want to keep coming back. So, that's something that I admire in terms of the coffee business. But let's go back to the beginning. Again, I want you to tell people where it is that you got the name Coffee Libre. Why Coffee Libre? You're Korean. This is sort of a Spanish English name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's come from a movie Nacho Libre. I really love that movie itself, and then I love its concept. It's Jack Black was a Catholic priest, but he want to take care of orphans, but he didn't have any money, so he want to play as a wrestler at night to get fight money. So I love that idea. It's taking care of orphans as a priest, and so wrestler is a totally extremely different kind of a concept, but he tried to do it for his dream, his responsibility. But so he was really poor at wrestling, but he really liked it. He want to learn more, and I love that kind of concept. It's very similar to my idea for coffee. I was nothing. I didn't know anything about coffee, but I want to know. So I want to try more. So even though it's not easy, because I want to love coffee. I want to have something with coffee for my future. So, this concept is very close to my idea for coffee. So I brought many ideas from the movie as the beginning of Coffee Libre.
So it kind of related to you. It resonated with your own story, kind of coming from a humble beginning. It's also one of my favorite movies. So we can relate on that. When you told me about Nacho Libre, I thought, yeah, it's a movie that has such character. It has such authenticity. Maybe some other people might watch it and say it's silly, or it's not really, doesn't have much of a plot line, but it's true. There's something about his tenacity, right? His drive, which I think a lot of people in the coffee industry can resonate with in some ways. It's like, why are you still in coffee? Why do you keep working either as a barista or a roaster? And it can be a struggle sometimes, but it's a growing industry. I mean, it's in relative terms, it's still very new, the world of specialty coffee. So we're all kind of figuring it out on our own. And I think a lot of us in the industry are also doing it for, I would say, for the right reasons. Let's say for good purposes, where we know that we can make an impact on the farm level. We know that we can also make an impact on the local level. So it's that balance of, like in Nacho's case, wanting to earn money, but to give back to the orphans and the people that he loves. So, I love that. A little bit more of a philosophical approach. But so coming back to the specific coffee origins, what's one of your favorite coffees that you have available right now? So we're sitting here, June 2023. We visited a few origins. You're always traveling to different origins, but what's one that you're excited about for the rest of this year?
Personally, as I'm getting old, so these days I really like some more sweet and balanced cup. Yeah, sometimes I really enjoy a floral, the juicy cup, but yes, I love that kind of preference now I have. That's why I really love Indian coffee. It's not such a complex coffee. So elevation is lower, and they grow a lot of hybrid varieties. But they have a really good sweetness and a full body. It's really good for espresso. And always that kind of smooth and balanced coffee is more attract to me. And at first, it's not easy to find their attract, but as time goes by, I think to fall in love is easy, but to keep love is not easy. We need more attention, cost, time, effort, everything. So every year, so when I visit India, I feel as I fell in love one step more and one step more to Indian coffee. So it's not a very popular coffee now in Korea and in the world, it's specialty coffee world, but it's now Indian coffee is my one of favorite coffee. Yeah, it's that kind of concept. It's how can I say? It's a more subjective approach. It's a more important now. As a score is important, so trend is important, but these days I'm more as a personal feeling or subjective approach is more attractive to me.
Right.